If you've been trying to get enough fiber and protein into your day and you need something to add to your breakfast or have as a quick snack that's nutrient dense, then you're going to want to make my favorite muffin recipe. I've been making this muffin recipe for about 3 years and I make it every week. So I have a dozen on hand. I have about two every day, usually with breakfast or as a snack. They do not contain any flour, only ground flaxseed and some additional ingredients. So stick with me, try this recipe. I promise you won't be disappointed. And the star of these muffins is 2 cups of ground flaxseed. I'm using golden flaxseed. Use whatever ground flaxseed is available to you. 2 cups of the ground flaxseed, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. I use Ceylon cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And just mix those dry ingredients together. Set that aside, and we're going to get our wet ingredients ready. Okay, for your wet ingredients, 3 whole eggs and half a cup of liquid egg whites. Next, I add a 1/3 cup of unsweetened applesauce, 1/3 cup of maple syrup. Whisk that together. And then I'm going to add the wet ingredients to the dry. And the flaxseed really soaks up the liquid. So after I add it and mix it, I let it sit for 5 minutes before I put it in the muffin tins because it will thicken up in that 5 minutes. If it's too thick, I will add 1/4 cup of warm water. Pour that in. You can even add a teaspoon of vanilla to this. You can change up the spices in this. It's a pretty flexible recipe. Really blended well. While I'm waiting for this to thicken up, I just wanted to talk about some of the health benefits of flaxseed. As you can see, there's no flour in this, just the flaxseed. So they are a more textured muffin. There's no flour. So it's not going to taste like a Dunkin' Donuts muffin, but it is super delicious. The maple syrup adds that delicate sweetness. They're moist. I've replaced oil with applesauce. I like that better. There are plant-based omega-3 fatty acids in this from the flax seeds, of course, fiber, and there are components of flaxseed that provide hormone balancing qualities. They're called lignans. Along with these tasting great, I include them in my daily diet because of the health benefits, especially as a postmenopausal woman. I want to get enough fiber. I want to get those healthy fats. And of course, the hormone balancing properties are a plus. I have included the recipe for this as well as the benefits in the caption of this video. I also included the original recipe I started out with, which is a much higher fat. It has olive oil and 6 whole eggs. This recipe has kind of morphed over the last few years and I've lightened it up a bit because that's my preference. But I'm giving you both recipes to try out, and I also give you the nutrition information for both of them to compare. I just want to show you how much this has thickened up. Can you see that? Much thicker than it was when I first mixed it. I don't think I'm going to add the water. I think this is fine. I'm going to put them into my lined muffin tins. Pop these in my preheated oven, remember 350 degrees Fahrenheit. They're going to stay in there between 20 and 25 minutes. It depends on your oven. Mine are usually ready in about 22 minutes. They smell so good. Taste really good warm. I do let them cool off a little bit, but I do like them warm. I want to give you examples of how these muffins help me meet 30 grams of protein per meal, which is my goal. So why do I make it a point of getting at least 30 grams of protein per meal? As we get older, our bodies do not metabolize protein as efficiently as bodies did when we are younger. So it is really even more important as we get older to get adequate amounts of protein and maybe a little extra. So I try to get between 30 and 40 grams for breakfast and then 30 for lunch and 30 for dinner. Doesn't always happen. You know, we're not perfect, but I really do try to be intentional about it when I can. And these muffins do make it easier to meet my protein needs. And I'll give you some examples. I will often get Oikos 000 yogurt. They make all different flavors. This container has 15 grams of protein. Each of these muffins has 7.5 grams of protein. Right there, I get 30, especially for mornings when I'm in a rush. If you have 2 eggs for breakfast, that's about 12 grams of protein. That is not enough. So if I add 2 of these muffins with my eggs and a piece of my homemade sourdough bread, say, I'm almost at 30 with that as well. I am not against using protein powders. I use them to help fill in the gaps for protein too. When I want a snack, I'll have 1 or 2 of these some days. The point is, as we get older, we need more nutrition. We need to strength train. Our bodies do get less efficient, so we need to give it the raw materials it needs. Anyway, these are delicious. If I peel this now, they're going to stick. They are my favorite. I'm not lying when I say they're my favorite muffins. That's why I share them all the time. So good. Not too sweet. I don't like overly sweet. You can add more maple syrup if you want. You can add a different sweetener. You can add honey. But these are so good. I want you to see. They're moist. They're not dry. I hope you try them. Like I said, in the caption, you'll see all the benefits of flaxseed along with the original recipe of these that's higher fat and the lightened up version, which is my preference. Enjoy.